Well, it's another week and another result show. This is the Right Hook 2 of Spades tournament this week, our inaugural 500-word competition. And two lucky winners will be taking home a €200 prize. We had two brackets for this one. We had the H.G. Wells bracket and the Virginia Woolf bracket. We started over first in the H.G. Wells bracket, where there were 6 stories. 2 stories advanced straight to the semi-finals, and we had 2 quarter-final matches. The 2 stories advancing to the semi-finals are Hello Old Friend and Bros Before Crows. We head first to our first matchup in the quarterfinals in the H.G. Wells bracket, and that is A Practical Taxonomy of Animals for the Purpose of Husbandry by Dr. Arthur Talbot versus Mounting Tension. And this contest had 3 judges. The first judge scored it for A Practical Taxonomy of Animals for the Purpose of Husbandry by Dr. Arthur Talbot. The second judge scored it for Mounting Tension. And the third and deciding judge scored it for A Practical Taxonomy of Animals for the Purpose of Husbandry by Dr. Arthur Talbot, which advances on to the semi-finals to take on Hello Old Friend. The next contest in the quarterfinal of the H.G. Wells bracket was On a Tight Leash versus He Did What to My Teeth? This had 3 judges. The first judge scored it for On a Tight Leash. And judges 2 and 3 both scored it to He Did What to My Teeth, which advances onto the semi-finals to face Bros Before Crows. Over now to the quarterfinals in the Virginia Woolf bracket. Over in Virginia Woolf, we have 6 stories, and it's much the same as the H.G. Wells bracket. We have 2 quarterfinal matches and 2 buys into the semi-final. And the buys in the semi-final are A Drink Between Friends and Spring Season 79. The first match in the quarterfinals in the Virginia Woolf bracket is Talk to Sally versus Sunshine and Suffrage. We had 3 judges for this one. The first judge scored it for Talk to Sally. The second judge scored it for Sunshine and Suffrage. And the third and final judge scored it to the winner, Talk to Sally. Talk to Sally advances onto the semi-finals to face A Drink Between Friends. Over now to the other quarterfinal match, where it is Where That Burns Women's Lives versus Searching for the Light. This also had 3 judges. The first judge scored it for Searching for the Light. Judges 2 and 3 then scored it for Where That Burns Women's Lives. Where That Burns Women's Lives advances onto the semi-finals to take on Spring Season 79. Back over to the H.G. Wells bracket now, where we are in the semi-finals, where the first match is Hello Old Friend versus A Practical Taxonomy of Animals for the Purpose of Husbandry by Dr. Arthur Talbot. This had 3 judges. And all 3 judges scored this for Hello Old Friend. Hello Old Friend is the winner and advances on to the finals in the H.G. Wells bracket. The other semi-final in the H.G. Wells bracket was He Did What to My Teeth versus Bros Before Crows, and this also had 3 judges. The first judge scored this for Bros Before Crows. The second judge scored this a tie. So we sort by categories, and the tie was broken on the first category of prompt adherence, where Bros Before Crows won the contest 5-4, giving it 2 votes to 0, and then the third and final judge also scored it for Bros Before Crows, giving it 3 votes to 0, advancing it onto the finals to face Hello Old Friend. Back over now to the Virginia Woolf bracket, where we are also in the semi-finals. And the first semi-final match is A Drink Between Friends versus Talk to Sally, and this one had 2 judges. The first judge scored it for A Drink Between Friends. The second judge scored it for Talk to Sally, giving us a 1-1 tie on the judges' vote. So when we have a 1-1 tie, we add it up, and the cumulative total is the winner. So if the judges' scores added up, we get a score of 69-57. And that is scored to Talk to Sally. Talk to Sally advances to the final of the Virginia Woolf bracket. Our other semi-final contest in that bracket was Where That Burns Women's Lives versus Spring Season 79. We had 3 judges for this one. The first judge scored it for Where That Burns Women's Lives. The second judge scored it for Spring Season 79. And the third and final judge scored it a tie. So we go to the categories again. And on the first category of prompt adherence, we have our winner. With a score of 5-4 and advancing on to the finals, Where That Burns Women's Lives. Back over now to the H.G. Wells final. And the final for this is Hello Old Friend versus Bros Before Crows, where we have 6 judges. The first judge scored this for Bros Before Crows. The second judge scored this for Hello Old Friend. The third judge scored this for Hello Old Friend. The fourth judge scored this for Bros Before Crows. And the fifth and sixth judges both scored this for Hello Old Friend, meaning that with a score of 4 votes to 2, Hello Old Friend is the champion in the H.G. Wells bracket. Congratulations to its author, Sandra Zappatelli. You have just won €200. And the author of Bros Before Crows will be consolated with a free entry for a future contest. Over now to the Virginia Woolf final, where we have Talk to Sally versus Where That Burns Women's Lives. And this one also had 6 judges. The first judge scored it for Talk to Sally. The second judge scored it for Talk to Sally. The third judge scored it for Talk to Sally. The fourth judge scored it for Where That Burns Women's Lives. The fifth judge scored it for Where That Burns Women's Lives. And the sixth and final judge scored it for Where That Burns Women's Lives, meaning we have a 3-3 voting tie. So we go to the cumulative total, with all the judges' scores added up together. And the final total is 200 to 186 for the winner of the Virginia Woolf bracket, Talk to Sally, written by A.M. Haphazard, who has now just won €200. Congratulations. And the author of Where That Burns Women's Lives will be consolated with a free entry for a future contest. And that concludes the results show for the Two of Spades 500-word tournament. Our next contest, if you wish to sign up, is on March 6th. We are moving away from our weekly format and switching to a monthly one. So March 6th is the next time you could sign up, and that is for the Jack of Spades tournament, which is a 100-word tournament, and that is available to sign up at www.getrighthooked.com, and we hope to see you in it. Until next time, this is Right Hook, signing off.